Well, g'day everyone and welcome back to the channel. On this week's episode, we're making our way north for the winter. That's right, we're heading towards Darwin. So why don't you go and get yourself a cold drink and get your feet up for the next 20 minutes or so. If you're not subscribed to our channel, please hit the subscribe button and come and join us for the adventure.
Hi, I'm Steve.
And I'm Alison.
We decided a couple of years ago that we'd work hard and save all of our money and start living life on our own terms.
So we bought a caravan and hit the road on a trip for two all around Australia.
So why not come and join us every week for our adventures?
All right, just over the back of my shoulder here, you can see the Pentecost River. We're at the start of the Gibb River Road. You're going to see those episodes in a couple of weeks' time. On today's episode, we're heading from Alice Springs up to Darwin. We're going to spend about 8 or 9 days getting up there. We're going to stop at a whole stack of different free camps and show you a lot of different camping options as we make our way up the Stuart Highway. But before we get on to that, we got some messages from our subscribers about our last week's episode at Ormiston Gorge, and something went wrong with the video. It didn't play all the way through. Some people said, oh, you left us on a cliffhanger and the episode just ended. That wasn't the case, and it certainly wasn't the intention. Something went wrong in our upload. We're not 100% sure what it was, so you didn't see all the episodes. So before we get into our journey to Darwin today, I'm going to show you the part that you missed from last week's episode. And if you didn't see last week's episode, I'm also going to drop in a link so you can go back and watch the start of it. Anyway, we hope you enjoyed today's episode as we make our way towards Darwin.
So we come about 20 odd k's back down the road now. We come to the next stop, which is the Ularoo Pits. So we'll get down and check those out. And then from here, we're going to head down and check out Serpentine Gorge. One thing I do have to say, and I've forgotten about this from when we were in the Northern Territory last year, but when you come to a lot of their areas of interest or attractions, they always give you really good, easy access into the main parts of them. Like you can see here, we're walking down to the Ularoo Pits, and this was the same as when we were back at Ormiston Gorge on the initial walk-in. They're very pram and wheelchair friendly, just really easy access in, so you can have a look and enjoy it. If you're not quite sure what ochre is, it's a clay that the Indigenous use, obviously, to make a lot of their artwork, including their body art. We were very fortunate. We went up to Mossman Gorge a few years ago now, wasn't it, Al?
Yeah, it is a few years ago.
And we done the tour up there, and they actually take you to an ochre pit when you do it, and they talk to you about how they used it and why they used it, and they talk to you about different body art. Then they give you the ochre to paint it on yourself, and you can make whatever design you like. I'll cut in a picture if I can find one of my red belly black snake that I put on my arm. And it was really good. It really got you in touch with like just the lifestyle, I suppose. It was
being part of the culture.
Yeah, just being part of it.
It was very good, that tour guide that we had.
He certainly was. All righty, let's get out and check out these ones. Well, unlike the Mossman Gorge, I don't think we'll be touching any of the ochre here today. It looks like it's a pretty expensive exercise. So here's the ochre pits, and there's plenty of colours here, predominantly reds and yellows, I suppose. When we were at Ularoo, not this year but the year before, the tour guide was talking to us about how they know the distances, or have an idea of some of the distances that the Indigenous used to trade over, and it's sometimes determined by the colour of the ochre that's used in the paint. So I can't remember what the colour was at Ularoo, but one of the colours is not found anywhere near there. It's found a lot further to the north. So they knew that amongst the tribes, as they moved around, that they were trading ochre for different sorts of things. So this is a great example of contrasting colours. It goes from a whitish yellow into a yellow and then into a red, and that's got to do with the iron content which is in the clay. But yeah, and obviously all used for Aboriginal art and their body art as well. Very interesting thing to see. All right, some of you will say it's a sign of weakness, but we come down to Serpentine Gorge and we got to the end of the road. It said it was another like a 2.5k turnaround from the car park, and with today's flies, we've decided to wave on or wave it away. So we're going to head further down the road now. We'll probably go down to Stadley Chasm and check it out, and then we might call it a day at that point, Al, and head back into Alice.
Yes. Steve got out of the car and he's like, these flies! I was like, we won't be doing this walk.
Yes. Anyway, we'll get down to Stadley and check it out. Well, we forgot one. So we went to Serpentine, you saw us tap out there. We're on our way down to Stadley Chasm, and we forgot about Ularoo Creek Big Hole, and this is a very special place to come to. A lot of people like to come and see this one, don't they?
They do. We've heard very good reports about it.
Definitely. You can camp here. It's all national park stuff, so you book it all through the NT government. Good sites, good spots, and you can also swim down here at the waterhole. So let's get down and check it out. So here it is. Here's the waterhole. What a beautiful place. You can see right up through the gap there between the ranges, and there's people that have gone all the way across the other side. Wonderful place to come down and have a bit of a swim. You going in now?
No.
No crocs here? Just like all the other places here in the national park, there's plenty of facilities here if you want to come down and use the day use area, particularly in a place here like Ularoo Creek, where you can go swimming and enjoy all of that. There's also picnic tables and barbecues and that sort of gear. And as we said before, there's the camping area if you want to stay a few days. We arrived at Stadley Chasm a little bit too late in the day to get onto a tour. In fact, when we spoke to the people inside the information centre, we couldn't get on a tour for about another 8 or 9 days. But it's certainly a place that's worth coming to visit. There's lots of facilities there. Even if you don't get onto a tour, you can actually stay the night here. It's the launch for a couple of really big walks through the West MacDonald Ranges, and there's a great cafe. You can sit down, grab yourself a cup of coffee, maybe something to eat. So we're just heading back into Alice Springs now, and we're talking about some of our favourite drives that we've done on our big lap so far. And for me, this one through the West Macs, it has to be in the top 5. What do you think, Al?
Yeah, definitely in the top 5. The central part of Australia and the landscape is just something to be seen. It's so unique and it's so beautiful.
It is, particularly this year, just this section of it, or just the whole drive we've done today, because the West Macs go on for hundreds of kilometres, don't they? It's a beautiful place to come and visit.
They do. And when we were down in the Flinders Ranges, we felt it was quite similar to the landscape we'd seen here last year. So it's just quite wonderful to see.
It certainly is. And as for my favourite drive, because I'm sure there's a few people that are thinking about that, mine personally, I don't know what Ali's is, we're going to ask her in a second. She'll have a think about it while I'm telling you. Mine would be from Cooktown, Bluefield Track, across into the Daintree and Cape Trib and those places. That is a wonderful drive to do. Keep in mind we still haven't been to Western Australia.
I was going to say we haven't been everywhere in Australia yet, not even down to Tassie. Look, the Daintree area is beautiful into Cooktown and that area. I mean, I always enjoy the drive along the Great Ocean Road. That's definitely beautiful. I probably could name a few of them, but just for something different, I'm going to go to the other end of Australia and say that. I mean, even driving along the coastline of the bottom end of South Australia, that was pretty spectacular. The South Australians really do have some beautiful areas in their part of the world as well.
They certainly do. Anyway, we're going to head back into Alice now. We're going to do a little bit of shopping, get the caravan loaded back up, because tomorrow we're going to hit the Stuart Highway and
start heading north.
Well, that's it. That's the bit that you missed from last week's episode. And once again, we apologise. We don't know what went wrong. Obviously, there was a gremlin in the system somewhere. Let's get into today's episode. Ali and I have gone back into Alice Springs. We've loaded up the mighty Colorado and the caravan, and we're going to head north along the Stuart Highway. We'll spend the next 8, 9 or even 10 days. We're going to stop at a lot of the free camps. We're also going to show you a lot of the free camps that we don't stay at, just to give you some ideas that may assist you with planning your trip north towards Darwin.
So here's our first campsite on our way up towards Katherine. This is just a simple roadside stop, which is about 280 k's north of Alice Springs, or make that a bit easier, it's about 10 k's north of Tytree on your way up. And it's just at the base of Mount Stewart, and that's the mountain you can see in the background there. That was originally called Mount Sturt, but the name was later changed to Central Mount Stewart in honour of Stewart, the explorer, who incidentally the highway is also named after. Look, it's not a bad roadside stop. You are right on the highway here, so there is a lot of road noise throughout the course of the day. But you expect that when you come and stay, you get a lot of trucks that come through, but by about 6 o'clock in the afternoon or 6 o'clock in the evening, they're starting to really slow down, and by 8 o'clock I don't think we heard too many all night, and they never started back up again till about, I think it's about maybe 6 or 7 o'clock this morning. So you do get a good night's sleep out here. Very quiet. It was very, very dark last night. Yeah, but a great place to stay. As I said before, it's just a camping option that you can choose as you travel up the Stuart Highway towards Darwin. So for Ali and I today, we're going to continue to punch our way towards the north. We're going to head towards the Devil's Marbles. We may stay there yet. We'll just check out the campground first, see how many people are there. If there's not too many people there, we'll just hook up the Starlink, obviously, and book ourselves a site, because it's a national park stay there, and you have to book in, and they actually come and check to make sure that you are booked in. But if it's over full or we don't feel like staying, it's a bit early in the day when we arrive, we'll continue on to a place that we stayed last year, which we really enjoyed, which was called Bonnie Well. I don't think we're going to escape the flies. In fact, we did hear online last night, or read online last night, it's not till you get to about Dally Waters at the moment, but we're hoping for, there's a big cold change coming, and it comes, I think, tomorrow or the day after. And I was talking to a fella here last night at the campsite, and he said to me, if we get a frost or 2 frosts in a row, that'll be the end of the flies. So we can only bloody hope. Anyway, we'll get the van loaded up. We'll start making our way a little bit further north towards the Devil's Marbles. One of the great things when you're driving along the Stuart Highway is all the old historical markers that you find. This is quite a good one. This is Ned Ryan's well. It's an historical site, but he was a stonemason. He had a camel crew, and they used to go along and sink wells all over the place, I suppose, for other stockmen and just for you know, people in general. But yeah, it's a great relic to come and see. We're going to stop at a couple others as we go up along the highway. So as you come along the Stuart Highway, you go up the Stuart Highway from Alice Springs towards Darwin, or in our case, we're heading towards Katherine first up. You'll stop at a number of different rose houses. There's one down at Tytree, and there's a great one here in Barrow Creek. It's also the home of the Barrow Creek, or the Barrow Creek Telegraph Station. There's some ruins here, or buildings that you can go and have a look around at. But if you come into Barrow Creek, you can definitely go and stay here. There's a caravan park. There's plenty of fuel and that sort of gear here, and there's a pub. And I love the saying at the pub, at the Barrow Creek pub, bloody flies, Barrow Creek pub, and that is the home of bullshit and beer. But Ellie and I stayed here last year, about 2 k's up the road. I'll drop in some footage of what that looked like. It's a great spot directly below the Donahue Ranges, looks out across the plains. Nothing up there other than just a great view, but it's a great place to have an overnighter if you're working your way along the Stuart Highway. So we stopped in on the side of the road at the old Wycliffe Well. Now this was famous for its UFO sightings, but unfortunately for Wycliffe, or for the people that were here, I think the people have returned and abducted them, because it's just an abandoned site today, isn't it, Al?
It is, and it's been trashed, for want of a better word.
Yeah, it certainly has, but we did take the opportunity to refuel while we were here with our own jerry, because there's certainly no fuel here anymore. And they have removed it from all of the signs, so you don't even see a sign posted to it now, but we did find it on Wikicamps, and you won't miss it when you come past, because there's a great big United Garage sign still up here.
Yes, there is.
But in its heyday, it was a bit of a, I suppose, a museum, for want of a better term, a lot of alien artefacts that look very earthly made, hanging around the place, but a great place to stop. It was an overnight campground. Yeah, it's not quite a nice little spot, isn't it?
I think in its heyday it probably was a lovely little spot to stay. Yes, now not so much.
Anyway, I'll give you a bit of a look around.
All right, here it is, the old Whitecliff Well UFO site. Some of you probably recognise it from YouTube or in your previous travels as you come past, but just a derelict building now. We heard a bit of noise inside, so there's probably someone living around here. We're not 100% sure. But over the back there, you can see the old campgrounds and toilet blocks and those sorts of things. I do remember when we first started getting ready to travel, this was quite a popular spot for people to stop back in the, I suppose, the 2020 type of times, or early 2020s, late 2019s. But yeah, for us today, it's just a place of interest that you can pull through and check out on your way through further north. I think a feature of this video and the next few you're going to see are all going to be with the fly nets, because they're pretty bad, aren't they?
They are over friendly. I think it's getting worse. I can't believe it.
Yeah, I think we first hit them, it must have been down just the other side of the Flinders Ranges, somewhere around there, wasn't it?
I think so. They've been with us for a long time, but they're just getting more and more friendly.
Yeah, and we're very close to Tennant Creek now here at Karlu Karlu, so yeah, they're very, very friendly here as well. But as I said this morning, we're hoping for that frost to come and knock a few of the little buggers off, a couple of million of them off anyway. Anyway, we come out here, yes. We're coming here to Karlu Karlu. Now, if you might remember, if you've watched our channel for a while, we did visit here last year. It's a beautiful place to come. Actually, it's an amazing place to come and see.
It is an amazing place, yes. It's quite spectacular to see.
And it's such an easy drive straight off the Stuart Highway. So if you want to come and just, have a bit of lunch like we just had, and then go for a walk around the rocks here in the day use area, it's such an easy thing to do. It's a really easy walking trail, isn't it?
It is, and they've got several options for walking trails. You've got a lot to choose from.
You certainly do. And there's also accommodation options. So our plan this year was to actually stay here. It's a national park stay. It costs you, I think it's about $10 each per night, plus $10 each for your parks pass, so $40 for the night if you don't already have a parks pass. I think people from the NT are exempt from those passes. They don't need to buy them.
Yes, I think that, yes, the residents from NT are exempt. And there are like 2-week passes and I think longer passes. So,
yeah, there are. I think our year is $60.
Yes, per person.
Per person, yeah. So we've looked on the campsites, but they're all booked out for tonight, even the overflow area, so we couldn't get in at all. So there's a number of camping options around us. So a little bit further back down the road, I think it's about 20 minutes drive or so, you come to the Devil's Marbles Hotel.
Yes.
And that's certainly an option. You can book in there, and people do book ahead for that one, so they make sure they get a spot. But right out the front there's a rest area, and I noticed on WikiCamps a lot of people are now using that as a free camp overnight. Nobody seems to bother about them. We actually saw a couple of people, didn't we?
We did see a few people there, yes.
As we drove through in the rest area, not so much in the caravan park. There's Karlu Karlu, like we spoke to you about, the National Park stay here. And then about the same distance, a little bit further up the road, maybe about 30 k's or so, you'll come to Bonnie Well. Now, Bonnie Well is a place that we stayed last year, and it's quite, I find a very unique Australian sort of site, because you stay underneath the old windmill out there by the water tank. It's quite a nice site.
It was, yes.
So we're going to head up there this afternoon. We'll make camp up there this Arvie, but we'll go for a bit of a walk around the rocks here and check them out again, because they're always good to see, aren't they?
I enjoyed it last year. I'm enjoying it again. So I think if any time we drove past, we would be stopping to have a look.
Oh, for sure. All right, let's get around the Devil's Marbles. As Alison said, there are a number of different walks you can do when you're here at Karlu Karlu. You can also do the main walk, takes you up to the lookout. I'll cut in some footage of when we went up there last year, just while I'm talking here. But there's some sensitive areas here to the Indigenous, and they do ask you not to take photos of particular areas. They're very clearly marked, so I suppose we always like to be very mindful of that. We don't include those into our videos, and we try not to get them into our video shots. But when you go to places like Caru Caru, where we were recently, and they have the famous 3 hives or 3 humps that you see there. All they ask there is you don't shoot one individually, but shooting all 3 together is fine. So just check the local rules. You can get those through the national parks before you come and visit, and that way everybody stays happy. One thing I will say, now that we walk around these areas, and doesn't normally think about it too hard, but I'm on bloody snake watch at the moment. We were walking our way through the other day, up in that gorge at Ormiston Gorge.
Yeah, Ormiston Gorge.
And in the part where we come back in towards the waterholes, and we're walking over all the rocks to get back to the start point, a couple that we met up here, Jody and Mick, there he's going. Mick was walking along and a bloody big brown snake just went straight along the side of his boot and continued off into the rocks. So he's got us all switched on to bloody snakes at the moment. So the rocks you can see on the other side here at Karlu Karlu, that's where you can go and do the lookout walk, which is located just up on there. And from there you get a good 360-degree view all around the area. And the first thing that we noticed when we were up there last year was how big the area is, because when you're just down here and you're doing the walks, it doesn't feel so big. When you get up there, it goes for kilometres all around. You can see boulders almost for as far as the eye can see in some directions. Well, it's great to be back in the car. Quick reprieve from the fly nets when you get outside. Karlu Karlu is a great place to come and visit, and it's a great little stopover, isn't it, when you're coming along the Stuart Highway, because you can pull off and it's a quick walk around them. You get to see some magnificent stones and formations and things like that, but you get that opportunity to rest and stretch your legs.
Yes.
There's toilets and everything down here, so yeah, it's quite, and there's Wi-Fi access too, so that makes things very handy, doesn't it?
It is if you need to get online for anything. Yes, that can be handy.
Particularly if you're coming out and you want to book to stay into the campgrounds, because they're booked by spaces down there. You'd see all that when you go onto the booking site. You also need to sign up as on the NT site as you need to start an account with it as well, which obviously costs you nothing, but you do need to register an account, and that way when you book future sites, like we're going to go on to Litchfield and places, it just makes life a lot easier, and they won't let you go in without booking the site anyway. But we're going to head on now down to, or up to, Bonnie Wells, where we're going to spend the night. We'll just get in, get relaxed. Well, I know what, we'll do something for dinner tonight, Al?
It probably is all flight dependent, sadly, because they have been, and we've heard this comment from a lot of travellers, it seems to be driving a lot of people inside at the moment and putting a bit of a dampener on the travels.
It certainly is, yes. It's like when you go to I don't know, Bali, and the thing for the trip there is everyone's in a bintang singlet. Well, this time in the Northern Territory and the central outback, it's been the flynet, hasn't it? It's been the popular fashion.
It's been the fashion accessory required, yes.
What we might do is we might just speed up our travel a little bit, get a little bit further north where we know they aren't. That way we can get back to enjoying our travels and just spend a few extra days in a place like Bitter Springs or Mataranka, or
where we can get outside, yes.
And go for a swim. All right, well, we'll get up to Bonnie Wells. So here we are at our overnighter. We're at Bonnie Well. Bonnie Well's probably about 100 k's south of Tennant Creek, but it is a great place to stop. It's a slightly different sort of campsite to the one that we stayed in last night down at, I can't remember the name, but the MacDougal Stuart Rest Area. In that this one here, you have the rest area at the front if you want to use that, but also at the back, there is just a huge area. You can bring your van or your camper trailer or your swag or whatever it is that you're in, out and stay for the night. And as I said before, it's quite uniquely Australian. You can see the old water trough there and the remains of the tank. I love the windmill. It creaks and it groans and it squeaks, and it's just something really, really nice. And I find anyway, when we come out into these sorts of areas, and you might be able to see it through the trees there, but there's a railway bridge. And at about 2 o'clock in the morning, if memory serves me right, a train comes through here. But that's the sorts of things that you get when you come to these places. You're staying on the side of a road, you expect road noise. I've got to say, for the majority of the places that we've stayed in our experience in the Northern Territory, by the side of the road, after about 8 o'clock at night, most of it dies down till the morning anyway, so you do get a good night's sleep, unless of course you're a very light sleeper. Then I just can't think of any other options for you as you move your way up the Stuart Highway. But yeah, you're always going to get a little bit of truck noise, but at this one here, you'll also get a little bit of train noise.
So that's the end of this week's episode. Steve, have you enjoyed our journey so far up the highway?
Oh, I love travelling up the Stuart Highway. There's so many different places that you can stop and you can camp, and every one of them's a little bit different, isn't it?
It is, it is. It's been really good to see the different camps as we've been travelling north.
Yeah, we hope we've given you a few options in this episode. Come and join us next week when we continue to make our way up the Stuart Highway and we go and stay at a campsite which is so big. We spend half an hour trying to work out where we want to stay, and there's millions of spots that you can stay at when you get there.
Too many choices.
Way too many choices. If you like today's episode, make sure you give us a like before you go. If you have any questions or comments, hit us up in the comment section. And of course, as usual, if you haven't already subscribed to our channel, please consider doing so because it really allows our channel to grow. But until next Saturday at 7 o'clock, you guys have yourselves a great week. We can't wait to see you. We'll see you then.
See you next week.
Bye-bye.